Welcome to Sterling High School. This is the Varsity Award Show for 2019-2020. This is episode 3, The Spring. And I'm joined by Coach Hoffman, Coach Atene. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this third episode of our Varsity Award Show, which has been very exciting to celebrate the 2019-2020 season. So as we know, the spring has gone a different way. But many positives came out of it. And what I'm most thrilled about is how well our coaches have connected with our student athletes. So why don't you take a minute to tell me, how has the connections with the student athletes been going?
It's been up and down with the students, with the players, sort of like it is with the class when you're doing with the classes. But we've been trying to communicate with some Skype meetings, and we've been trying to minimize it to each grade level to have less kids in there. So we've been making some Skype connections. I have the website up and running with information. Anytime we get information from Sterling, from the state, or even from the NFHS, I try to post it on there so the kids can keep up with what's going on. And we have workouts on there, and we have the Remind app where the kids can communicate with me and I can communicate with them.
Yeah, it's great. Baseball does an excellent website that they've used for years, so great use of social media. Coach Atene, how about the tennis guys?
Yeah, to piggyback off Coach Hoffman, we use Skype, and we also have Twitter account, and we're updating on new rules and regulations and when they can play and when they cannot play. We have contests and drills and compete against other schools, so it's just something different to mix it up a little bit. I'd like to give a special shout out to Coach Strauss, my assistant. He really did a great job with that, with the Twitter account. And we got some good feedback. You always want a little bit more participation, but for the most part, the top 7 guys that thought they would be in the rotation were committed, and that's what counts most. And you saw the leadership from some younger kids that you would never expect. So
Great. It's been great to see the connections with the student athletes. One of the things that Coach Johnson and I were able to do, you guys recommended some student leaders that we were able to Skype with. We had a chance to connect with them. And it's been an emotional time. They've missed their season. They've missed connections with their coaches, the camaraderie of the team. But it was awesome to be able to get together with them. And I'm so thankful that you were able to do that. So with those things said, there's still a lot to celebrate, things that we accomplished throughout the spring, things that we would have seen in the spring. So we're going to get right to it and go through each of our sports this spring. So Coach Hoff, why don't you start us off with baseball and give us a little summary of what's going down.
Okay, with the baseball team, coming into the season, we're coming off an upset win over Collingswood last year, and we're trying to build upon that. We had 13 players on our team that were returning from that day that we beat Collingswood. We had some nice senior veteran leadership with Matt Berkeley, Jake Riebel, and Jake Kleehammer, and Jason Schulz. So we had that leadership there that we knew we could take to the next level. For the first week, the only week that we had practice, things were moving along at a nice pace, and there was a lot of excitement in the air with everything going on. The coaches really looking forward to our pitching staff. We have a number of arms, a number of young kids that are looking to make their mark, not only on Sterling, but maybe in South Jersey baseball. So basically that's where we're moving along, and things kept going after that for a few weeks with Skype and everything else that we were doing. So, it's a shame that we didn't get to play this year, but we know that the future's bright for us.
Yeah, the field too was going to be ready for play better than ever before. We invested into raising that mound and cleaning up the lanes, the running lanes.
And we had clay this year on the mound, which we haven't had in 20 years out there, so we were looking forward to that. But we bought a couple new tarps. The school bought one for us. The Booster Club bought one for us, so we're going to have those on the mound. So, the field will be there next year, and we're going to take advantage of it.
Very good, very good. I know that one particular athlete that we missed was Vitale. Jake Vitale had a medical scare this year. And he's really a young and up and coming. He was going to be making his way back medically.
Yes.
And so it's a shame we missed him, but he's got a chance in the future.
Yes, he was second team all conference last year, so that was exciting. We had a lot of coaches after games would talk to me about him, even in his freshman year. So.
Right. How about your seniors this year?
Like I mentioned, those 3 seniors, there's 4 seniors for leadership, but we also have 5 other seniors going to help us this year. We had Albert Hallworth, Nick Anderson, Alex Varela, Brandon Grace, and Anthony Barikian, who are looking to help the program this year. So we had 9 seniors this year, which is a lot of seniors, but I believe that was going to be one of the ingredients we were going to use to be successful.
Okay, great. Well, great job connecting with your student athletes throughout the season. We know we're going to wrap up the spring season formally on May 22nd, right before Memorial Day weekend. So great. Coach, how about softball? Tell us about Coach Johnson's softball program.
Coach Johnson's softball team, she said they were looking for an excellent season, only losing 3 seniors from their squad, and the team looked strong and competitive. The workouts and the drills at home, she said, were going great. They continue to work hard all season. She was most impressed with their great leadership and motivational to push themselves and their teammates and make them accountable. During the virtual workouts, she mentioned they were building their own challenges, and there was some impersonations and some fun along with it to keep the flow going. They all set goals. Sadly, they didn't take the field, but they'll be ready for next time because the girls worked so hard. They really missed their 2 seniors, Lexi Lambertino and Becky Jankowski. So special shout out to those seniors. And if anybody knows Mrs. Johnson, I mean, she would want to be here, but I know she had some other things to take care of, and she misses everybody. And
Yeah.
Kelly's really, Miss Coaches, she really spearheads the spring sports, and I thank her for all the help. She's helped me with a ton of work. She's like my private secretary when it comes to the tennis stuff, but so special shout out to Kelly too.
Yeah, I thought that was one thing. Definitely with the softball team, the way they embrace the situation we're in. And if you ever go to a softball game, that's all you see, the enthusiasm with the girls and with Coach Johnson. We're at practice a lot, and we can hear Coach Johnson pepping her girls along during the game, and they just took that right into the quarantine, and they continued on with Skypes and all the videos they were posting. So that was fun to see.
And they were definitely going to continue their leading ways in the conference in South Jersey. In 2018, they were South Jersey Group 2 champions, and they really have a lot of the same ingredients from that team that would make them good. You know, we have Mallory Skelly, and then Mallory's younger sister was set to play. So we'll be looking forward to see that as well in the future. So great job, Coach Johnson, and all of the softball girls in their connections and keeping it lively and fun throughout. So we're going to move on, and we're going to talk a little bit about lacrosse. And special in 2020 was the addition of boys lacrosse. And so 2020 was set to be the first varsity season in boys lacrosse. We'll give a special shout out to Coach Wiley for his development and working with his players. A lot of parent support in making this program come to fruition. They did 2 years of club activity, and they were set to be in their first varsity season. So they had a handful of guys that were very impactful in their season and in their preparations, including the guys like, I'm missing it, John Gallen, Logan Perrone, Tony Klein, some of those dudes that, help me out with a couple other names.
Connor Byrne,
there we go.
Pete McCardle, Dylan Jess, Chris Grega, Connor Sprzgowski, and Mason Emmers. They had 8 seniors on the team this year.
Very good. And I know last year I think they finished the season with over 35 student athletes. Their preseason numbers were equal to that. So it's a program that we're really excited to see come along at Sterling High School, and that's boys lacrosse.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too because my son plays boys lacrosse, and
have to be. There you go.
Coming to Sterling, that's one of the things we sold him on, and he's been enjoying every minute of it, and he's looking forward to the future. He's a sophomore this year, so he has 2 more years left, so he's really looking forward to it and looking forward to what Coach Wiley is doing for the program.
Excellent. Great. It leads me into girls lacrosse. Girls lacrosse is coached by Mrs. Claybourn, and they had a great off-season or season in their virtual planning. Excellent job by that crew in what they've done. I know all of the coaches did it, but obviously being at home with Michelle, being able to see some of the connections they've done. One of the things that we were able to do as a spring coaching staff is before we went home when school was closed, is we all got together and talked about professional development, how we could best communicate and connect with them. Coach Marley, shout out for leading that development. But they did a great job, using Instagram to record their sessions. And I know Coach Claybourn she had a chart. She has a chart with every athlete, how often they connected, did they complete it, did they do their tricks. Some awesome tricks that were done. I want to give shout outs to Grace Michelli, Faith Dixon, the whole crew. They really did a great job with that. So really missing Emma Carmody. Emma was a 4-year starter for the girls lacrosse program. And actually Emma was going to be, and we'll talk about it in our last episode, but she earned 11 varsity letters for her career. Huge impact, Emma Carmody at Sterling High School. But they have a great young group, similar to the girls soccer team. Many of those girls come over, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores contributing, and then just great leadership in juniors like Grace Michelli, and of course the senior with Emma Carmody. So girls lacrosse and Coach Claybourn, great job with what you've done at home in your virtual sessions. So let's move on to the track teams. We have girls and boys track. I want to take a note that they, in 2018, they were both Liberty Division champions, and they continue their strong ways. But tell us more about the track program.
Well, the boys track team, they were going to be led this year by top seniors Demir Key, Shane L., Gavin Clark, Larry Lewis, Chris Torres, and Mamadou Rogers, and also a couple incoming seniors that Coach Shepard was really looking forward to seeing in Ryan Walker and Dejan Vales. He had a lot of underclassmen too, Christian Brown, Mike Berkeley, Nasir Nahani, Jacob Johnson, and Cole Doms, who he was looking forward to seeing what they could bring to the program. And Coach Shepard also mentioned that when the quarantine hit, his guys continued their workouts. They were working on hills, and he was seeing videos of the kids working on hills. The field team was working on their muscle development and different aspects of what they needed to improve. So Coach Shep wants to congratulate all the seniors, and he also said he's really looking forward to the future for the boys track program.
Their benefit with being able to run, you can still hit the road, run. The track we had to close for a short period of time, but then we got the track open. Kids were still able to work out here, so great benefit, and it seems like both our boys and girls teams took great advantage of that. Mm-hmm. So how about the girls team?
The girls team, they had strong senior leadership, Coach McElvain was saying, from Frankie Frontera, and if I mispronounce anybody's name, I'm sorry, Janasia Brewer and Raylyn Hughes. They were headed to a real good season this year, and they also had some underclassmen like Jada Disley and Sophia Love, Sierra James, and Faith Frazier, leading in different aspects. And each one of those students I just mentioned, they were in different areas: the sprinters, the jumpers, the hurdlers, and the distance teams. So again, with the underclassmen, what they're projected to do, Coach McElvain is really looking forward to the future with the girls track program.
Yeah, great job again, girls track. Many of which, again, connecting, keeping, if you're out on the streets, you can see those kids running, and they did a great job throughout, continuing to get better. And we've mentioned both the boys, girls track, with the addition of Coach Baines with cross country, Coach McElvain, and all the way through Coach Shep. They really take advantage of being year-round athletes and year-round growth. And shout out to both those coaches and the student athletes. They haven't taken a step backwards. They continue to work out, and they'll be ready for the fall or the winter whenever they're back in there, for sure. So we want to move on to boys volleyball. So boys volleyball was defending champions. So they had a 2019 championship. Shout outs to Coach Stewart as he stepped away, but did a great job winning, I think, 8 out of the last 10 years championships. Very dominant program in South Jersey. Picking up, everybody wants to play our boys volleyball team. So they were excited to defend that championship. Coach Scully, excellent job continuing to reinforce that with the student athletes. They were connecting via social media, and you could see student athletes in their homes, getting their volleyball bumps in and working throughout. But we had some names of some seniors with the volleyball program that we wanted to mention too as well. Coach, can you help me with those?
Liam Kriebel, I know.
Liam Kriebel and Jeremy Soriano we're going to be working together in some type of new offense that they were running. And Coach Scully said that offense was going to help Liam earn his 1,000 assist milestone that he was attempting to reach. Other athletes on the team, Nick Kowalski and Tyler Weatherby, were on the left side. Juniors, Kaylin Celbolero and Antoine Arnett Antoine's a new volleyball player this year. They were really looking forward to having him out. And in the back row, Paul Barton and Anthony Collins were going to help defensively for the Silver Knights this year.
Great. So another year that the boys volleyball will have to prep and defend that title and under Coach Scully, but great job in the off season or during this time at home, continuing to work out and get it done.
Can I say something? I have Liam and Nick in class, and we talk about the athletic prowess, but they're big time leaders in the classroom, and I'm just miss those guys in the classroom too.
Yeah, on Liam too. We mentioned about Jake Vitale coming off injury. Liam was coming off the broken collarbone that he suffered in November. And I would see him in lunch every day. And every day, how's the collarbone? It's getting better. It's getting better. And about 2-3 weeks before the season, he said he's ready to go. And that just shows the hard work and dedication of a lot of our athletes.
Great. Excellent.
Great kids, great families, for sure.
Good. Coach, how about boys tennis?
Tennis. All right. We have one, a little different end of the spectrum. We have one senior, Gabriel Crothers. And Gabe's had a tough year. He had a great year, and then he had a little family tragedy and bounced back, and he was fired up to get going again. And he was definitely, I feel he's going to be one of our singles player, great leader, probably in the best shape of his life, hitting the weight room. And I don't know if you guys know, but Gabe lives in Audubon, and he sometimes runs home, jogs home, rides his bike, and that just shows the type of dedication he has. And our number one singles returning freshman, Anthony Nong, was looking to have a great year, and also probably Eric Schmidt. And I have to give a shout out to those two guys for keeping up on the Zoom calls, the Skype calls, the edgies, the competition, and the Twitter accounts. And it's tough because they're so excited to get outside with the fresh air, and we had a great first week, like Coach said. I mean, we had a great first week. Now, when you have Haddonfield in the conference, you're kind of you're still trying to win no matter what, and they felt comfortable. Doubles teams, I think it could have been a combination of guys, but I would say Jason Yang, Ryan McLaughlin, Joe Wynn, and Pat Stout. And then we had two juniors that came out for the first time who were very athletic and picked it up real quick. And if anyone knows the Shinkowitz family, they're a very athletic family. And Cameron came out for the first time, and Henry Kearns is a nice, big physical body at the net for doubles. So who knows what was going to go on there. But a special shout out to Gabe, and he's really come along to watch him grow, and to not see him perform this year. It hurts, but I told him tough times don't last, tough people do. And we keep pushing that. And I told him, and the rest of the guys, but most likely the senior, I said, use this time to build your arsenal up and to come out stronger than ever. And that's the message that use this time for yourself. You're constantly doing so many things, and I think it's that's being a good role model. And he passed that along to the younger guys. So
great. This is very good. Great job again. Boys tennis, connecting social media, working out throughout, and hopefully we're seeing some courts opening up. They'll be able to get out there soon.
Yes, we all. Special shout out to Coach Strauss again. Coach is great. I call him the Assistant Coach of the Year, ACOY, acronym ACOY, and he really. They know the rules. They're allowed to go out and play now, but make sure you stick to the rules and read the guidelines and get out there and hit. And it's a sport you can play for the rest of your life. And tradition never graduates. That's another motto. We never graduate. We keep it rolling.
Excellent. So rolling right into golf then. Golf is a sport now that's opened back up. It's not formally by the school, but you know that you can get out to the courses, again, doing social guidelines. But the golf team was looking, and they're kind of unique. Every year might have a big change in and who's participating in golf, but Coach Yeager was excited about their accomplishments at home during this time, and we're really looking forward to some different players, including Dawson Donnelly, who would be the one senior by the golf team that was, who we certainly will miss, but we know that he's out there on the links as we're going now. What other things do we want to talk about with golf? They were, again, they're able to get back out there, but they don't, there's a lot of virtual tools that they can use throughout the season, and they were able to do that. But they were expecting some newcomers to contribute during the season as well.
I spoke to Coach Yeager, and he said the kids were pretty positive, and a couple kids got a chance to get out. And, it's like any one of our children going out and getting some fresh air. To get some fresh air and play the sport that you love, that's a big bonus there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the interesting things I thought when I looked at Coach's write-up was a quote from him saying that his kids are learning golf is not only a game, but a therapeutic and a lifelong sport that will challenge them for years to come. And one of the things I looked at in there was all sports, is that we're not only there just to try to be competitive and to try to win games, but it's just creating experience for the kids, the camaraderie of being on a team, the experiences of what hard work does for you, and what you have to do with cooperation and teamwork to achieve things. So overall, when I saw Coach's quote, that reminded me of all sports, and not only with being able to play the sport, but in this time when we're not able to come together, how teams are still communicating and still trying to create that experience that they can take with them throughout their lives.
9 spring sports we have. Definitely a difficult time, but I believe that we championed it well in managing what we could as a program between coaches, players. We saw student leaders emerge even in this virtual time period.
No.
And that's going to be very important. We need you to continue that, to be an example, because we don't know what the future is going to be for our upcoming fall and winter. So we need this leadership to continue to show us, you spring athletes, show us fall people, what do we need to be prepared as we approach the next season. So great job championing it. It's been a great thing. And that just leads me right into, again, the coaches have done a phenomenal job. We believed as a school district, both the Board of Education Administration, that it was vital that our coaches remain connected with our student athletes, and they did it. The mental connections, the social connection, and then even the physical by providing workouts, drills, tricks were hugely valuable, as you all know, just to break up and add to the routine that we needed throughout the day. So great job, coaches, on that, for sure. So we're going to go into some spring seasonal awards, and we had some creative categories that we wanted to make sure that we recognize some student athletes. So the first one we'll talk about is the most dedicated student athletes. So coaches were able to nominate some students that they felt like really were dedicated throughout this process. So Coach Hoff, give us some of those names.
We had Paul Barton from volleyball, Jake Kleehammer from baseball, and Logan Perone from boys lacrosse.
Very good. And they're just a few of everybody that did a great job. But our winner of the most dedicated spring athlete was
Jake Kleehammer.
Jacob Kleehammer, baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Great job, Jake. Awesome job, awesome family, a great history of baseball and softball tradition there.
Yeah, and the other two nominees too, your coaches said great things about them. Their dedication to the sport, obviously, that was a category. But not only their dedication, but what great teammates they were, but more importantly, what great people they were, which was real important.
Very good. And then we went on to go ahead and talk about male athlete that we missed, maybe. One that we were really looking forward, that might have been that male at most successful in the spring. We took nominations for that. Coach, give us those names as well, please.
Jason Schulz from baseball, Demir Key from boys track, and Liam Kriebel from boys volleyball.
Great. And the winner was?
Demir Key.
Demir Key. Congratulations, Demir. And again, these are nominated by your coaches, and then the coaches, we put them in the pool and we vote together as an entire coaching staff, 22 sports on these athletes. So great job, Demir. And then we went on to say female athlete that we would miss as well. And why don't you give us the names, Coach Hoff, and then Coach Atene will tell us who our winner was.
We had Emma Carmody and Mallory Skelly were our two nominees.
Very good.
And Mallory Skelly was the winner, and special shout out to her family, great family. and especially coming from Glen Landon, that's my alma mater. So it just shows you that how important parents are in the role of leadership here. And Mallory pitched every single game, and I know Coach Johnson and the team were really excited. That's a tough task, and I know she already committed to Seton Hill. I don't want to put any other faults. I think she's stuck with that, and it's in the hallways, it's always a great smile, and I think she's definitely deserving of the award, and that's definitely a family award there too. So,
awesome, that's great. So male and female spring athletes who we missed, Demir and Mallory, congratulations. Furthermore, is we have what's known as the Board of Education Awards. So the Board of Education approaches the coaches, and they want to recognize one or two athletes per sport that you feel like are outstanding performers that you want to give recognition to. And so we have those student athletes. So we're going to put up a screen of this. So this is our Spring Board of Education Award winners for athletics. So Jason Schules in baseball. For softball, Stephanie Kelly. In our new boys lacrosse, Logan Perrone and John Gallen. Great job bringing that program along. Girls lacrosse, Emma Carmody, 4-year letter winner we talked about. Boys tennis, Gabe Crothers. Great job, Gabe. In boys track, we have Demir Key, who was our male athlete we most missed. In girls track, Janasia Brewer and Frankie Frontera. Volleyball, Liam Kriebel and Nick Kowalewski. And then in golf, our senior Dawson Donnelly. These are our Board of Education Award winners for the spring season of 2020. So with that, gentlemen, again, I thank you for joining us on this third episode of the Varsity Award Show. This is the spring, which is 2020, which will go down in the history books for sure. But again, congratulations to our student athletes and all of the coaches who have participated and contributed to what we think has been successful on personal individual level for our athletes. So please join us for the final episode of the awards show, which we will highlight the 2019 and 2020 season. But for right now, the very much missed awards show for the spring of 2020. Thanks for joining us from Sterling High School. That's a Go Knights.